Music is spiritual.
So it's harder to get a deal now.
Certain things are successful because they tie into the trends.
Sometimes he spends like $15,000 on one artist on TikTok.
I put Two-Face on MTV. I put the bands on MTV. I put P-Square on MTV.
The music industry is often misunderstood.
For all of time, we have always tried to predict what people will like. It's how the music business has an entire... That's why A&Rs were invented. A&Rs have to be the most obscure role in the music business. One can consider them as needed, one can argue they're not needed, but their existence is solely because we're trying to see if we can figure out a method to the madness that is this creative thing that we're doing.
There are so many people now who are really mega stars today, not just in Nigeria, maybe globally, that if you say, okay, let's rate you on your voice power, they probably won't score high, but when it comes to ability to entertain and be an entertainer, they are really huge.
The music business is very elusive, it's very slippery. Maybe it's something that has to do with the balance between what we refer to as showbiz and what the actual business is, because half the time we spend time, just so much money and resources trying to create a facade that we hope people buy into, and then if they successfully buy into it, then we can sell them what we're really selling at the value of what we had claimed we were ranked at in the first place. It creates a very weird dynamic.
The path to success is rarely straight. It twists, turns, and tests every artist's resolve.
There is an element as to what defines success that is hard to grasp. People have gone over and beyond to achieve what they believe is success.
Many artists have been enormously successful in terms of popularity and impact and influence, but they're not necessarily financially successful. The business of being an artist is a little bit different from the artistry of being an artist.
You don't release 1-2 songs and you feel that, oh, you're tired. No, you have to be consistent. Maybe your 10th song would just be that magic.
The major challenge right now is not the songs. The songs are there. You can produce easily. It's the marketing. Distribution is there now. Before, distribution was a challenge where you have to go to record labels and all that.
Oh yeah, make you follow people where Sabi road. Body no be wood. Oh yeah, make we party. Make you follow me party. Party in the party. Party. Oh yeah, make we party. Make you follow me party. Party after hustling. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Oh yeah, make you follow people where Sabi road.
To be successful for a musician is for your work to be accepted out there. No matter how many songs you release, how many songs you put together, whatever if the songs don't attract the attention that you need, you crave towards you as much as possible, work to be accepted out there.
Talent is only part of the story.
Talent is very important. That one is basic. You must have it. But it's not enough.
I think integrity is the most important thing for an artist to have, because that also speaks to their authenticity as an artist.
Behind every hit, every viral star, lies an unpredictable force. A force some call destiny.
Grace, favor, destiny. It's also very important. It is that destiny that makes you meet the right people that will help you blossom.
Music is spiritual, very spiritual. You can spend 100 million on a song that does not make a headway, and then you just go one like that, and then you just say, let me just put it out, and you spend less than maybe 5 million, and that song becomes a hit. How do you explain that?
Now, there are people who are really absolutely mind-blowingly talented, but they will never attain success in music. There's something I call your stars aligning. which you can call destiny or luck. Because there are people who you say they have money and they pump tons of money into their music career, even in this country, and it did not even take off beyond this table. And it's not even because they lack talent. They are really, really super talented. And there are people who, they are not even the most talented people. And then something happens and their stars just align and boom, they blow up.
Some artists rise by chance, discovered at the perfect moment. Others fight for years, waiting for their break.
You have to have the heart, you know, you have to be man enough to walk up to a record studio, for example, Polygram, with your demo. You must have the heart of, you know, you must have a big heart, the boldness, the confidence to walk into that place. And then they said, okay, you drop your demo, and then they will listen and call you back if they are interested in recording you.
Like John Cena, and we the run the show. Who they talk, who they cab, when don't drive the yarn. If you yarn anyhow, me I no say you go collect. Or you put men on course, may the yarn you the base.
I just grew up, started my music things, and I went to studio, produced my song, promote them. That's what I've just been doing. So I've never made attempts to be signed by any level or something.
And the GPMP Plus, they cry to their mama, say we can't take the blame and still lose the game.
Millions of people release music every day. How are you able to make that 1% that gets blown up for the world to see?
So it's harder to get a deal now. You have to have done something. You have to have a presence. I will check for your Spotify first of all and see your streams, see your YouTube views. You're not going to just walk in off the street and have a great voice or a great rap voice and get a deal. Whereas 25 years ago, you might have done.
You talk of endorsements. Organizations will only take those that have the numbers.
During our days, we didn't have much endorsements, you know, but these days, endorsements, they pay a lot of money.
You go to shows, organizations would only want to pick those that would draw the crowd that they need.
So there will be no need a sponsor except for charity, taking Burna Boy to a village where their products don't even sell enough in a whole year to pay just the drummer in Burna Boy's band.
Timing can make or break a career. One song released too early or too late might miss its moment. A single song might explode overnight or be forgotten in an instant.
If you have a whole year of 12 calendar months, you should have an itinerary. All the seasons in the year. There's a season for recording, there's a season for promotion, there's a season for marketing.
The music industry runs on trends, but chasing them blindly often leads to burnout and disappointment.
Certain things are successful because they tie into the trends. Some things are successful because they go against the trends. So who's to say when it's a good time to plug into the trend? Who's to say when it's a good time to go against this trend? And how that ties into maybe other factors that influence people's decision, like maybe the mood in the country based on other situations and other economic situations that might not even have anything to do with entertainment.
In a world of fragmented media and fleeting attention, breaking a new artist or launching a song is an art of strategy and innovation.
So because media has become so fragmented, it's become doubly difficult to break an artist now. Back in the days, if you want to break a new artist, just take them to Kenny Ogungbe on prime time, Baba Keke and D1, you know. If AIT alone takes your music and starts to play it, you've blown. There are OAPs like Yo in Wazobia. If they play your song, Yo alone can blow you.
Right now, it's pure luck and God's grace before an artist can blow. In Lagos State alone, you have over 50 radio stations. Where do you want to start from? And you are not just giving your music, you have to pay the stations, you have to pay the OAPs. That is not a guarantee that your music will blow.
Today, OAPs are not as powerful as they used to be, sadly. So Tunde Ednut alone today can single-handedly blow an artist because his platform is so powerful. And that's why they call him the kingmaker, right? There are people who are really, really major influencers that can really make your career take off. So your strategy in breaking an artist will have to include both online, majorly online and offline strategy to make sure that the artist stays visible.
You require a lot of money, especially these days when you have to spread as wide as possible over the internet. You know, the TV stations, the radio stations, all the media, the print media, and and all the skits and stuff that's going on. You need quite a bit of money, to do it. And if you don't have enough resources, a very beautiful song may not be heard, and therefore may not be able to reach where you want it to reach at the end of the day.
I go die for your matter, to your love or surrender.
But you need a lot of money to push a song. Somebody told me, this is how much this person spent. The guy spends like $15,000 on one artist on TikTok. So it's become increasingly, tough, to compete.
Before they used to say, okay, there were just two screens, just the TV screen and your phone screen. Now there are maybe multiple screens. There's the gaming console where young people are playing games on their console. There's the phone stuff, and even when it comes to phone, there are screens within a screen. So where are they spending more time even on that screen? They are spending time on Instagram, they are spending time on TikTok, they are spending time on Snapchat.
For every door that closes, successful artists find another way forward. That's what separates those who make it and those who fizzle away.
First, go to school. After school, get yourself a job. Get yourself a regular job. When you get yourself a regular job, then make that music a hobby, because that regular job will help sustain you until maybe you're able to make a hit and get a label that would sponsor you. Otherwise, you will just be wasting your time. You will be working and begging people when you are not supposed to.
A lot of artists get signed to a label. After the deal expires, they are not able to maintain that level of success or that level of presence or relevance they once had, because they were just products in the hands of marketers or promoters or managers. They didn't learn the business.
Sometimes, innovation reshapes the rules of the game entirely. Take Extreme Advertising Agency, for instance. They produced a full album with members of their staff.
The average age of our staff here is probably maybe 23, 24. They are really young people with lots of talents, hugely talented. And for me, I think it's an opportunity, since we already have one leg in music.
This country sweet like banana, everything sweet like banana. I wake up, I still see my 247 for my area.
It's so perfect, my lifestyle flawless. Praise the economy like Christ, my Lord is in charge of the ministry. Everybody living free, never wept, only carry light-size crosses. I define problem, they reach each year, everything's up when they eat here.
When I saw the number of people who really can sing here, probably one of the best rappers in the country works here as a copywriter, as a creative person. We have those kind of musicians who are creative people here. They're like superstar even in advertising.
I know GB for this IG. Flow sick, a papa icy. Low key, rated high. Blow trees with my proceeds to fix my psyche. If you know me and my broskies, you notice we men are what we lie on the hearts in that boski.
I realized that there are a lot of people who have amazing music talent here, and like, why are we going to waste it? Let's put an album together. So I executive produced the album. We got some producers to work with us, and we shot a couple of videos. And I think probably the first advertising agency to create a full album, definitely in Africa.
Hey now, you don't want smoke, better run away now. We ain't playing with you, know this ain't a playground. When we going way up, you you gotta stay down. So what you say now?
I said, hey now, we gon' pull up in the place, you better pray now. When we step in, you just wanna find a way out. Chillin' on this high horse to make you say wow, cause you know we gon' flex on you.
Behind the spotlight is a powerhouse team working behind the scenes to navigate the ever-evolving music industry.
An artist must have a strong team, and in today's world, in a formal sense, an artist should have a manager, and the manager should be in a proper contractual relationship with the artist. The manager will structure how many other roles there are and how many offices needs to be filled.
As a recording or performing artist, ideally you should have like a minimum of a 12-man team. That means you have a 12-man staff, whether they are volunteers, part-time or full-time. At least a minimum of 2 persons that are close to you must always be around you every day.
When an artist doesn't have competent management or a competent structure around him, they lose a lot of revenue opportunities, and they also lose a lot of social capital. Some people make the mistake to think that artists need managers. In my theory, over the years, I've been pushing the proposition that what artists need is management rather than the manager. Within the management, a manager will exist. Different managers will exist.
The success of a hit is a shared triumph.
Music is not like a solo project like most people think it is. Most talents always think that it's about me. Yes, you are the talent, you are in the in the foreground, but there are loads of people in the background that will form your engine room that will make you to be continuously relevant.
I put Two-Face on MTV, right? I put the band on MTV. I put P Square on MTV. If I don't put those 3 artists there, if I don't put the other 150 artists we put on Channel O, there's no movement to talk about. But we were focused on carrying everybody, and we carried everybody, and we made it work worldwide.
In recent years, the music industry has undergone a transformation, becoming more artist-friendly than ever before.
The music business is now more organized than it used to be at our time. Artists are beginning to understand what their values are. How they should not just undersell themselves.
In the Nigerian music industry, sound production is way better. Even the musicians, the quality of musicians that we have now are like way better.
Nigerian music is a staple globally. It wasn't like that before.
It's a big reversal from 20 years ago or 30 years ago, where if you were sitting here as a Nigerian, young Nigerian, the dance steps are coming from Jamaica and New York, and then we're copying them. The new songs are coming every week, and we're copying them. Now the dance steps are coming from here, and the world is copying us. That's the total switch, right? The sound is coming from here, and the world is trying to get into it.
Contracts have evolved. Advocacy for fairer terms and transparency in agreements is reshaping how artists and labels collaborate.
Labels before, in the past, didn't used to pay as much money as the labels of the now are paying, okay? Because in the past they were still trying to structure and organize it, but now it's way better than it used to be. So obviously, yeah, they're making a lot more money than they used to.
Let's not forget the unsung heroes, the songwriters. They are the architects of hits, and for those who own their rights, every play is a payoff.
The song is like the foundation of the... If you don't have a strong foundation, if you don't have a good song, no matter who the producer is, and the singer is, it's not likely to make it. The producer will come out with beats and all that too. Maybe, but the likelihood is... But if you have a good song, it's so easy.
When you do write a song, ensure that it is registered. You must protect it by registering it and then join a society that will help to further protect the job on your behalf. Even when you wrote it without melody as a script, register it. Register the title. Somebody else had to compose the melody to support that recording, to support that song, before you can call it a song.
If you bring a song, the producer will also interpret that song. You understand? If you take one song to different producers, they'll give you different interpretations.
Fame is not just about luck. It's strategy, hard work, and yes, destiny.
Destiny doesn't mean much if you don't work hard, because you will never fulfill it, right? A lot of times in Africa, we hear people make prayers, these affirmations. I don't buy that. If you don't apply your talents, you cannot be successful.
And you're starving because you think it's music or nothing. I think it's a big mistake. So I always say, if you have talent in other aspects of your life, don't put your life on hold waiting to blow up.
Funds are the final piece.
Olamide Bado, Burna Boy, or Davido.
Beautiful Nubia, Mercy Chinwo.
I am Maf. I don't listen to songs just because people are saying, oh, Morin.
Once your song rings a bell in my ear and I vibe along with it, I will definitely go as far as once you know how the song is. Yeah.
I don't just follow the beats of music. The most important thing is what the music is actually, passing across to me. What is actually saying.
Their passion turns artists into icons, fueling careers and creating communities.
As an independent artist, you don't really have much support aside from yourself and the little fans you have.
Every day talk now, like say,
The music, in a weird way, doesn't fully pay for itself like it should. But if you find yourself in a place where you can create a dedicated fan base, a small community, or a decent enough community that's focused on your craft and willing to pay, then you find yourself in a place where you make music that's appreciated and it's directly valuable to you.
I'm on available. They know they see me. I'm on available.
There is fire on the mountain, and nobody's around us.
So, what is destiny in music? It's talent, timing, and the magic of connection.
When you are successful, they say, oh, it's grace. You are favored. No! Nobody is favored. It's what you put in. Nature, you can't erode nature. What you sow is what you reap. So if you don't make that effort to connect, if you don't prepare for when opportunity will come to grab the opportunity, then they say you are unlucky.
The journey is uncertain, but one thing is for sure. Destiny belongs to those bold enough to chase it. Destiny favors those who refuse to quit. Is knowing that rejection is part of the journey, and that every no can lead to a better yes.
Yeah, I would like 30 billion in the account at some point, but it doesn't matter if that comes or not.